This is Nia, the day of purpose of Kwanzaa, and my name is Brenda Norwood Henson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Josephine Pankey Center. And just to let you know, in case you haven't heard of Mrs. Josephine Pankey, she is a phenomenal woman, a woman of vision, a woman of courage, a woman of foresight, and a planner, an entrepreneur, an educator, and so many other things that we're going to hear a little more about her. But in her trip here to Arkansas, she's a graduate, I believe, of Oakland. I hope I didn't get that right. That's the right college. And she came here as a missionary and an educator to teach children, former slaves, and children who were then, most of the slaves had to go into sharecropping to support their families. So she was here as an educator. She later came into Little Rock. She married Mr. Pankey, who was the first black postman for Arkansas, here in Arkansas. So that together, they made a great team. Mrs. Pankey began this community. Now remember, this is the 1900s, early 1900s that she came. But she began this community as a place where blacks could own their own property and own their own homes without fear of being evicted from that. So this community was started. This is actually her third community that she had started. Some others have been absorbed into other parts of Little Rock and even into the Heights. That's part of where she also started a division. But since that time, this is the last remaining community that Mrs. Pankey founded. And she planned, that was plotted, she bought the property, plotted it, sold people the property. So people became landowners when many could not own land in the Little Rock, Arkansas area, not just the Little Rock, Arkansas area. And so it's still here, it survives today. And so this was the site of a former school here in the Pankey community area. And actually, it wasn't so long ago because I can remember it, although I've been here a long time. So, but the community, it had a school here. And later on, after desegregation, though many small black schools were closed, and we all went to integrated schools. But this site was the site of the former school here in the Pankey community. So I'd like to welcome you to the Josephine Pankey Center. And I'd like for you to also know that there's been a book written about Mrs. Pankey. It's called Josephine. We have two of the writers in the back. They said they were not a part of the program today, but I want you to know that they've written this book called Josephine, and it's available. And the other great thing about it, their proceeds from the sale of that book go to support the legacy of Mrs. Josephine Pankey, as Nancy Robinson Lott and Regina Norwood. They're the two authors of that book. So we'd like to welcome you to the center. It has been the dream of the residents of this community to have this center for a long time. And so this place where we are gathered today is the fulfillment of a long held and a long fought for a dream here in this community. And so I'd like to welcome you on behalf of all those people who were dreamers, planners, and givers to make this happen. And we're going to turn this over to Miss Anna Hearn. And, oh, there she is, thank you. I'm looking around for her because she is going to lead us through the rest of the program. But again, know that we are blessed to have you here, and we hope your experience will be a blessing for you.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to use this. It's going to be very, very loud. So we'll turn that back on later. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So once again, my name is Anna Hearn. welcome you all to the Josephine Community Center. This is actually my first time here, and it is amazing to see what the community can do when we pull together. So it is awesome that we are here today to celebrate the 5th principle of Kwanzaa, which is Nia, N-I-A, which means purpose. So before we go into the actual ceremony, I would like to give a brief overview of what Kwanzaa is and what it is not, and then give you an explanation of what you see here on the table. Okay? Do we have anybody here today that is celebrating Kwanzaa for the first time? Okay, awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's talk about what Kwanzaa is. So Kwanzaa, just the word, is part of a larger phrase or a longer phrase, Matunda ya Kwanzaa. The phrases and the words that we use, the language is Kiswahili, something that's used widely across Africa, mainly in the West African region. So Matunda ya Kwanzaa, it means first fruits of the harvest. So Kwanzaa is really designed to reflect on the past year, your harvest, what you yielded, and then set some goals for the new year. Let's talk about these different principles. Kwanzaa is celebrated over 7 days. We began on December 26th, and we will end our celebration January 1st. A different principle is celebrated each day. So let's talk a little bit about the history. Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Malana Ron Karenga. He is a current professor in the Cal State system. So you think about the year 1966, a very tumultuous time in American history, and specifically African American history. Dr. Karenga really wanted to bring the community together. He had seen how Christmas had become quite commercial, and he didn't want people scrambling looking for gifts. This is about family time and being organized around these different principles. So, Kwanzaa is not political, it is not religious, it is not for a specific affiliation or organization. You don't have to be a part of any specific community. However, you may see some aspects of politics or some aspects of religion mentioned during the ceremony or in our speaking or the cultural expression. So, let's talk about our setup on the table. So, you cannot have a strong house without a strong foundation. Even this building has a strong foundation. We're not slipping through the floor. So, our mat in Kwanzaa is called the Mkeka, M-K-E-K-A. And so the Mkeka hosts the entire Kwanzaa setup. Just as Hanukkah has a candle holder, in Kwanzaa we have a candle holder as well. It is called the Kinara, K-I-N-A-R-A. The Kinara hosts the Mashuma Saba, which are the 7 candles. The Mashuma Saba represents the Nguzo Saba, which are the 7 principles. So there's a word that you continue to hear, Saba, which means 7. So as I mentioned earlier, Kwanzaa is part of a longer phrase, Matunda ya Kwanzaa, first fruits of the harvest. So we do have some fruits and vegetables represented. These are called the Mazao, M-A-Z-A-O. And then, as I will continue to say this over and over today, but this is a family. Today we are a family. So your brother, sister, you may not know these people, but today we're all related, okay? So we like to see members and parts of our family recognized and represented in our Kwanzaa setup. So the ears of corn that you see here on the table, they represent the number of children in our household. So we definitely have more than 3 children today, but there are a lot of kernels on these ears of corn, okay? So that will represent the number of children in our family today. So the last thing, what we really talk about is the Kikombe Cha Umoja. So the first day of Kwanzaa, does anybody remember? Umoja, which means unity. So the Kikombe Cha Umoja is our unity cup. We will use it a little bit later in our ceremony. So the colors that you see here are very significant and special to Black culture, African American culture, African heritage. You see the red, black, and green, red for the bloodshed, black for the people, and green for the motherland. So everything you see up here definitely is bound by that principle of purpose. Everything has a purpose today. All right. Oh, one last thing, our box up here. So Christmas, Dr. Karinga, the founder of Kwanzaa, he was not too happy with people scrambling, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this, that, and the third. So there are gifts given for Kwanzaa. They are called the Zawadi, Z-A-W-A-D-I. And how they differ from Christmas gifts is that Kwanzaa gifts are supposed to be of yourself. Like if you bake, if you write poetry, if you sing, take that and give it to a friend for Kwanzaa. Also, the alternative to giving something of yourself is knowledge, books. So what we're doing this year, we are collecting new and gently used books. On the very last day, on Monday, we will be donating these to Brandon House Performing Arts and Cultural Center. It is a program that works primarily with ages 8 through 13. But we're welcoming all books. They do have a literacy program. All right, so does anybody have any questions? I need to explain anything a little bit more. Okay, that sounds good. All right, so let's officially begin our Kwanzaa ceremony. So, and I will say it several times today, this is a family. We are a family today. And in our family, it is customary, it is respectful to get permission from our eldest, wisest member in the room. They've seen some things, they've done some things, they know some things, and we need permission to get started. Who's giving us permission to get started with our Kwanzaa ceremony today? You got permission? All right, thank you. Thank you. Excellent, awesome. So, our principal today is Nia. So when you walk in the room today, or when you walk in any of these collective spaces, our Kwanzaa spaces, you may have been asked a question. It's Habari Gani. In Kiswahili, Habari Gani means, what's the news? What's happening? What's up? What principle are we celebrating today? So we've had a couple tongue twisters over the week. Today's principle is only 3 letters long. You might know some little girls named Nia. I actually have a sister named Ajani. So I know this one is good to go. So we're going to practice this, okay? I'm going to say Habari Gani, and you're going to give me the principle for today, okay? 3 letters. Super simple. Habari Gani.
Nia.
Habari Gani.
Nia.
Habari Gani.
Nia.
Y'all got it. All right. So, Nia, which means purpose, is to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. I'm going to read that one more time. Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation, our job, our work, the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. The 5th principle of the Nguzo Saba is Nia, which is essentially a commitment to the collective vocation, the work, of building, developing, and defending our national community, its culture, and history in order to regain our historical initiative and greatness as a people. So, we are definitely in the right place. Someone had a purpose and they followed through. At this time, I would like everybody to stand up. All right. So, we began our ceremony by getting permission from our eldest, wisest member. Now is the time in our ceremony where we want to recognize those who have passed on. We're lifting up those ancestors that put in the work so that we can be here today. So what will happen is I'm going to give us a few minutes of silence. I'll count to 3 and you can speak the name of someone that has passed on. It could be someone in your family, someone famous. They just should have passed on. We don't want to lift up anybody prematurely. Okay? So I will count to 3 after a moment of silence. You speak your name and we'll have our libation statement read and we'll pour out some water in honor of those ancestors. So a few moments of silence. I would personally like to lift up the reason we are here today, Mrs. Josephine Hanky. You can speak your names. 1, 2, 3.
Our fathers and mothers came here, lived, loved, struggled, and built here. At this place, their love and labor rose like the sun and gave strength and meaning to the day. For them, then, who gave so much, we give in return. On this same soil, we will sow our seeds and liberation and a higher level of human life. May our eyes be the eagle, our strength be the elephant, and the boldness of our lives be like the lions. And may we remember and honor our ancestors and the legacy they left for us as long as the sun shines and the waters flow.
We close our libation statement with the word Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you. You may be seated. Habari Ghani.
Nia.
Sneak attack. Habari Ghani.
Nia.
Habari Ghani.
Nia.
All right. So, at this time in our ceremony, it is at this time in our ceremony where we like to welcome a community member to talk about our principal, Nia, purpose, just to give us some words of inspiration and maybe some directions on how we can embody and practice Nia starting today and going forward to the future. Our community member who is going to share with us today is Mrs. Crystal McCrae Lewis. She put fun facts up here. Born and raised in Pennsylvania, background 20 years in higher education, a teaching background in psychology and critical thinking. She is brand new to Little Rock, moved here in February. She is married to Reverend Danny Lewis, and they have one child, DJ. Everybody put your hands together and welcome Mrs. Crystal.
Dear Purpose, I need to admit something to you. I have not paid close attention to you. I experience you every day as I breathe air in and out of my lungs. I listen to you through my ear gates, but I have neglected you. I feel you when wisdom speaks. You are quiet and always present. I see you in my community, family, and friends. Purpose. Your intention is to remind me that I have a pulse and a place in this world. Your drive keeps me going in the right direction. Your tenacity helps me travel this life's journey. Your perseverance reminds me to never give up on my hopes and dreams. My life has meaning, and there is a strong need to share it with others. Purpose. We must share our story to inspire others. We can no longer hide. We must retire fear and become fearless. We must love the skin we are in. We must realize our value. Purpose. We must educate this generation with academics, life skills, and financial literacy to pave the way for the next generation. We must teach our youth the value of self-worth. We must master our gifts, the performing arts and talents. We must keep our family's legacy alive for our namesake. We must protect our community and not turn a blind eye. We must regain trust with our neighbors. We must love in the face of adversity. Purpose. We must lift up and not tear down each other's character. We must continue to have faith in our Heavenly Father. We must continue to pray for strength, ask for grace, and seek wisdom. We must respect our similarities and acknowledge our differences. We must build businesses and organizations that serve our population's best interests. We must continue to dream. Purpose. In learning something new, expand your horizons. Read a good book. Listen to different genres of music. Appreciate the sound waves dancing in your ears. Have lunch with someone that does not look like you. Find out what you have in common. The other person has purpose. Take a trip outside your comfort zone. Purpose. Find purpose in the recipes that we create and pass on from generation to generation. Your recipes tell a story. They share a memory. Write it down and pass it on. Taste a cuisine dish from a different culture to experience something new on your taste buds. Spend quality time with your family. Have conversation with your elders. Listen to their nuggets of wisdom. Explore your family roots. Repeat after me. Purpose.
Purpose.
The literary icon, Dr. Nia MyLife, wrote, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise." Say purpose.
Purpose.
The leader of the Harlem Renaissance, Mr. Langston Hughes, wrote, "To fling my arm wide in some place of the sun, to whirl and to dance till the light day is done, then rest at cool evening beneath a tall tree while night comes on gently, dark like me. This is my dream." Say purpose.
Purpose.
Zora Neale Hurston, an African-American novelist, wrote, "I have been in sorrow's kitchen and licked out all the pots. And I have stood on a peaky mountain, wrapped in rainbows, with a harp and a sword in my hands." Say purpose.
Purpose.
Pastor Rick Warren, the author of The Purpose-Driven Life, writes, "The search for the purpose of life has puzzled people for thousands of years. That's because we typically begin at the wrong starting point, ourselves. We ask self-centered questions like, what do I want to be? What should I do with my life? What are my goals, my ambitions, my dreams for my future? But focusing on ourselves will never reveal our life's purpose. Say purpose.
Purpose.
Mahatma Gandhi, an Indian nonviolent civil rights activist, wrote, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Where there is love, there is life. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Say purpose.
Purpose.
We are reminded of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, pray together, struggle together, go to jail together, stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Say purpose.
Purpose.
This year, Dr. Karenga, the creator of Kwanzaa, celebrates 51 years of cultural celebration. He has given us an alternative to this existing holiday. Dr. Karenga etched in history an opportunity for us to celebrate our cultural heritage. Today, we celebrate Nia, purpose. Live with purpose. Walk with purpose. Talk with purpose. Love on purpose. Embrace your purpose. Thank you.
So good, so good, so timely, so appropriate. Thank you so much. Let's give her another round of applause. So I personally have been inspired. Anybody else in the room feeling inspired? Yes. Everybody has an idea of how they plan to walk in their purpose in 2018? All right, so let's share out. Let's get 5 volunteers real quick. Stand up. We got volunteers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we got 5 volunteers. All right, so we have heard from our community member who flexed on our principal today, Nia Purpose, so well. So what we're going to do now is we want to hear from more community members. Let us know your name and how you personally, like what are you going to do to demonstrate, practice, live in your purpose, starting today and going into the future.
My name is Pamela Hayes, and I plan to incorporate the 7 principles in my daily walk this year. And each time that I practice the principle, I'm going to do a hashtag Kwanzaa 365.
Freeland Norwood.
Freeland Norwood, how do you plan on practicing Kwanzaa? Nia, be purpose.
Oh, she's the lady right there, in Norwood. Now, when I was 2 weeks old, her family brought me to her family. So I was in Dr. Shep. So I had to take one twin here and leave my mom look, my actual twin sister. Her father played for Spurs. I never actually met him in real life. Her little brother Jalen is a firefighter down here. He's also my actual brother, as in the only person related to Allison who's related to me. So we actually have the same exact father. But she was always with J.C. Jeffries in Palm Bluff. And everybody remembers J.C. Jeffries from Palm Bluff. But he was in the Air Force. I was in the Navy. So we never would have been exactly in the same place because he would have been in a different, more aviation-oriented one, and I was in the one that ran all the ships. So I actually have my, you want to No,
You want to tell us a lot. So while he's working on that, all right, sir.
Master
Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Chief Master Richard Anderson of the Anderson's Taekwondo Center. I've been in the city for approximately 33 years, and I teach martial arts. I try to help as many people as I can through martial arts in every way possible. So, Nia, my purpose today is to leave my card and offer to each and everyone here free martial arts for the whole month of January. This son is one of my students, and I have a couple more students up here and up front. Stand up if you don't mind. Stand up if you don't mind. So your purpose is to take this gift and use it. We're at Moody Chapel AME Church at 5630 Mapleville Pike, right off University. And at 6 o'clock on Monday is that free class. And come. If you make it 6 times in the month of January, if you make it 3 times in the month of January, I'll give you a free uniform on top of it. How I'm gonna pay for all that, I don't know yet. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to give to you. That's a gift, okay? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Griffin, and my purpose is to exemplify the Ngozi Saba for my sons, to show them that life can be great with the principles of Kwanzaa. And that's how I plan to sell my purpose.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Precious, and I figured out my purpose for sure this past year. When I was in Los Angeles, I've been in New York City, Maui, San Francisco, Los Angeles with hardly no money in my pocket. I have been fearless since I graduated. I have turned my life into image consulting. And the reason why I did this is because I want Black people to be as fearless as I have. People used to think that they couldn't travel. And I travel with like $5 in my pocket. Why can't you? People that they can't own a business. I've owned 3 different ones. No debt in my pocket. Why can't you?
Okay.
I work my core. I'm a vegan vegetarian. I chose Islam on my own. Choose something that's rightful for you. We tend to put ourselves in bubbles as Black people. We think that that's for white people, or that's for those people, or that's for those people. Why can't you? Says who? If I did not go out there and just pick it all up and say, I don't like that and I don't like that, I would have never known. My purpose is to remind everybody in here, go try something new. For sure.
I was asked by your mother to do this, so I'm going to do it. I'll share my purpose. My name is Laverne Bell Tolliver, and in the year 2018, I have a book that is coming out that lifts up the voices, including one that is here today, Miss Glenda Wilson, who is one of those 18 of the 25 young people who told their story in a book called The First 25, the oral history of those to desegregate the Little Rock Junior High schools. And so this story has never been told to the public, and the book will come out in February. Actually, it's going to be, the kickoff will be at Pyramid Gallery on February 3rd. And again, the purpose is to tell those, to tell all of you about people who can be courageous in spite of obstacles that they have experienced, or in spite of being the first or the minority, or those who have barriers that they have to face, including those who are being bullied. So it's beyond those of us who desegregated the schools. It is helping those into the next generations and the next generations to know how to face your fears and to be fearless. The First 25. Thank you.
Okay, so we have heard from several community members about how they plan on walking in their truth and in their purpose. At this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Regina Norwood She is a poet. Also, she is the co-author of Josephine, celebrating the life and legacy of Mrs. Josephine Irvin Harris Pinckey, the reason why we're in this building today. Everybody put your hands together for Mrs. Regina Norton.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Like the young lady back there, I aspire to publish in 2018. Down through the years, well, let me put it like this. Has anything ever just popped in your mind of its own volition, maybe in the middle of the night, maybe driving down the highway, and you say, I have to write that down. And down through the years, on scraps of paper, I went back to look and say, now what was I thinking when I wrote that? But in 2018, I aspired to publish all those little scraps of paper.
We're gonna hold you to it.
All right. Hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. One of the things that came to mind had to do with trying to discover my purpose in life. Even though you might be doing well, you might say, seems like I'm supposed to be doing something else, something different. That little voice, that something in your spirit. And you might think, how am I going to get to there from here? I don't have what it takes. Maybe I don't know what to do. I just want to leave you with this. And this is what came into my spirit. Someone once said that when the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear. God will place in your pathway somebody or something. Whatever the it is, it will be placed in your pathway. And it's appointed time in due season, the it or who will come. And I want you to remember that God never leaves you empty. And that's the title of this poem. God never leaves you empty. Never think God ever leaves us empty. Never believe God leaves us high and dry to die, spiritually bereft, left to wither away. There's always an embedded ember, a saving grace to remember. There's always a cured kindling to keep us from dwindling down to nothingness, just waiting to catch fire, to inspire, stoked by the prayers of those who miss us, those who kiss us, who cry and ask why for us, who cope with us and who hope for us. A fire sustained by those who still love us, above us, around us, below us, who know us. Never think God ever leaves us empty. Never believe God leaves us to the lie for enemies to try and snatch us, attach us to death. There's always a path, a door, leading to more, held open by those who have learned from mistakes and wrong turns, those who whisper lifting words and offer gifting curves of wisdom. God's words for the chosen to tell, spoken by faith walkers, from whose well we dip and sip refreshed. To step further along into lighted ways, encouraged by brighter days. Never ever think God leaves us empty. Never believe God leaves us with an eye without vision to spy what is our call, lest we fall without rising. There's always something held back, another track, perhaps a different track to take, a path already blazed by those who've gone before, whose bones are ashen from the sun. They tell a story of battles fought and won, now resting, waiting for us to step a little further along with a new Every day, new mercy, new breath, new song. With purpose revealed and secrets unfolding, the envelope is now unsealed. Told in life-changing revelation, lived out in excited exclamation, we receive the baton. Holding fast, moving on, steadfast, and light will be persevered. From then to now, from there to here. Standing upon old shoulders that crossed a sea, we peer into our unbelievable yet divinely purposed destiny. Never ever think God ever leaves us empty.
At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Ron Mack to the front. Yesterday, he didn't really have an opportunity to speak and perform, but he is going to flex a little bit on our principle of Nia today. Put your hands together for Ron Mack.
How's everyone doing today? Good. Well, I think that, first of all, I'd like to say, as Ms. Norwood said, those ideas come to you and you write them down. And if you don't write them down, then you can't retrieve them ever again. And sometimes I look back over things that I've written down, I've drawn, or I've composed and said, wow, and I amaze myself. Well, I call that proof of God. Anytime you can look at something you did, look back at something, look and say, how did you make it through? Look and say, how did I get that bill paid? Look and say, how did I create this? Look and say, how did my children do as well as they did? Look and say, how did I get this house? That's proof of God. So write down those things, create those things, so that when you look back on them, you'll know there is a higher power. And I would say also that Nia, purpose. I think I was born a creative. I was born to dance and rap and sing and do poetry and write lyrics and do music. I think that is my purpose. And to that point, I'm going to do a little song I wrote that talks about the calendar in your life, which means the time is now. It's actually called Past Time for Change. Trying to keep my key up. Mother's tired from having to bury her child. Father's fed up from a system that keeps him on trial. I don't want to wait for the afterlife or hold out for a favor. So many times I've heard it said it's gonna get better later, but it's past time for change. It's past time for change. Whoa, it's past time for change. It's past time for change. Sisters fed up from the shame and pain of being touched. Brothers angry from having to always show that he's tough. But the system today, there's injustice and sorrow. But they want us to wait change. Yeah, it's past time for change. Don't you know that it's past time for change? Oh, we need to work in our purpose now, 'cause it's past time for
Understand why I had to call them here. Thank you so much to our speakers, Ms. Norwood for the poem, Brian Mack. All right, so, family, togetherness. We started off our ceremony by asking permission. We lifted up our ancestors, those who struggled, lived, did everything so we can do what we do today. At this time, I would like to welcome the youngest members of our audience because we are going to literally pass the torch and light the candles. So a little bird told me that we have members of Jack and Jill in the room today. This is an organization I was a part of, very, very important to my life. So I would like to welcome 5 members of Jack and Jill to come forward. Do we have 5? Ladies? All 4 of you guys? Then we have one more? What's up? Y'all know y'all gotta take pictures of this scrapbook. Come on. Well, this guy, my guy, he's gonna take care of it. He's gonna hold it down with all these ladies. Right. All right, so before we light the candles, I just want you all to introduce yourselves to our family. Let them know who you are, how old you are, and what school you attend. So we'll start with my guy right here, loud and clear. What's your name?
Angela. I go to Harvard Elementary.
And how old are you?
I'm 4. I
4.
mean 5.
5. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Celia Kelly. I'm 10
Dress.
years old. I go to plastic.
Awesome.
I'm Skylar James, I'm 10 years old and I go to Lassie.
I'm Zenobia Kelly, I'm 12 years old and I go to Cal State High.
I'm Edison Johnson and I'm 7 and I go to Houston.
Okay. So, welcoming our community members. So, what we're going to do today, let's see. We're going to take this candle. This will be our lighting candle today. So, it may or may not work. Oh, we have fire. Okay. All right. So, in the spirit of Umoja, which was the first day, we're going to have, you said Angela, right? Light our middle black candle. Habari Gani. Yeah. Question. All right. You gotta come back.
How old are you?
All right. Let's try this again. The middle black candle for Umoja, unity. I want it a little bit more. Excellent. Thank you. All right, so we light our outside red candle for Kuchi Chagalia, self-determination. All right, that's candle. So we light our outside green candle for Ujima, which stands for collective work and responsibility. That's candle. And then the second red candle is lit for yesterday's principle, which was Ujama Cooperative Economics. And today we light our second green candle for Nia, which means purpose. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So at this time, I would like to welcome Reverend Ryan Davis to the front of the room. Reverend Davis. So, this is my last day of celebrating Kwanzaa with you all. I am heading back to Houston, where I live. I'm going to bring in the new year. But you are going to be in more than capable hands with Ryan Davis. And so, we together would like to welcome you to tomorrow's ceremony. It begins at 2 p.m., not 12, please do not show up at 12. 2 p.m., we will be at the House of Art. House of Art. House of Art, okay. And so the principle for tomorrow is Kuumba. Let's try it. Kuumba. We will be celebrating creativity, which is, I hate that I'm going to miss it because I know we have so many creative talents in Little Rock. It is the 6th day of Kwanzaa, so you have to bring 6 people. 6 more than the people that are here, okay? And then our last day we're going to have a feast, and you can tell us about that.
I'm going to tell you about the feast. Anna has done this as the primary facilitator as long as I've known, since she was like in middle school and she was by herself. So I can she became an adult and she didn't have to do it. So yeah, there's also that. So grateful to Anna, who I now have a little bit of anxiety because whenever I have facilitated, Anna stands in the back and she does this, and she says this. And so any volunteers to do that tomorrow, and I would appreciate it. I want to say 2 things. One is a Kikuyu, East African proverb, and they say we should work with the clay while it's still wet. That means a lot of different things, but I like the fact that I see a lot of kids here, and kids are still moldable, just like wet clay, and so I'm grateful to God that people thought that this was, how the church folks said, that they thought it not robbery to bring the kids to be a part of this today. And also tomorrow, and also on Monday, the last day. The last day of Kwanzaa we'll celebrate at Aphrodisia Studios. Aphrodisia Studios, the best way I can tell you how to get there is on Rodney Panham, right behind Arby's. And I always hate saying that because I'm not trying to put up Arby's at all. I'm just saying, forget what's in Arby's. Arby's is but a mile marker to let you know where Aphrodisia Studios is. It's a great wide open space where Brother Tim Anthony, if any of y'all are familiar with Soul Brothers Records, remember they used to be at the corner of 16th and High Street, before High Street was Martin Luther King.
That's right.
So Tim, that is the from whence he comes, you know, that whole kind of creative milieu that Tim Anthony is a part of. And so he's graciously allowed us to use Aphrodisia Studios for the Kwanzaa celebration on the last day. The last day of Kwanzaa, there's always an Umoja Karamu, which just means unity feast. And so there will be a meal there for you to purchase from Eleanor Westwood, the good sisters at Vegan Soul. And so you can get from that name exactly what it is. It's vegan, it's soul food, it's there for you to purchase. And I honestly hope to God that Miss George's sweet tea is going to be there also. Okay, you know, you all pray for my caffeine addiction, but that sweet tea is, bless the Lord. So, you know, certainly you're welcome to come. Now, that'll be the 7th day. And, you know, we all know how to do the math. That means you got to bring 7 people with you. And there's plenty of room for everybody. Okay? And the last thing I'll add is this quote right here that I love so well. People attribute it to a lot of different places, but I first heard it from somebody who's Yoruba. So I'll say it's a Yoruba saying, just for the sake of our celebration today. It says you can have everything in solitude except community. In a society that really emphasizes individualism, do you, me time, and those individualistic things, it's wonderful to know that there is on the outside of Solitude community. And I'm glad to be a part of this community. See you all tomorrow at the House of Art. And I believe Max is going to tell us a little bit about the House of Art. And then...
Well, I just say it's at 108 4th Street in the Argenta District, North Little Rock. 108. It's like 4th in Main. You'll see Thea. You'll see the drugstore.
Drugstore.
Yes. And you turn there and you'll see the House of Art.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So go to church. Pray that your preacher is not long, so that you can go home and eat and nap and be there by 12. I mean, 2. By 2.
All right. So just as a reminder, we are collecting new and gently used books. We will be donating them on Monday to the Brandon House Performing Arts and Cultural Center. So bring your books. If you brought them the last couple of days, they have not disappeared. We're not selling them at the bookstores. We are collecting them all in a central place, okay? So at this time, I would like to invite any other community member that would like to share an announcement with our family today.
Yes, thank you all for being here. I love this room. Don't y'all love this room? Y'all love this room? And you know what? Many of you came and you received it, but there's some people in the hall, and I want to especially honor Miss Michelle. Miss Michelle and her son, who were standing out in the hall. She's with Jack and Jill. Is she not standing? Oh, she is. She's in her name, but she, I didn't hear it. Come on in. You know what? She was persistent in getting here. And because of that, we're honoring you with a copy of Josephine. So all with that gift today, and thank you for coming. Thank you for being persistent. The other thing is, 2 o'clock today.
Tomorrow.
What's happening? No, 2 o'clock today.
What's going on today?
What's going on today at Pyramid?
Shameless plug. We do have a Little Rock native, Mr. Curtis Gerard. I learned his real name last night. Very talented. Not a lot of formal training, works all on campus. He is having an artist talk at Kern Fine Art, which was the site of our first day, 1001 Wright Avenue. Come and hear the inspiration, come see some beautiful art. We also have some good refreshments.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
1001 Wright Avenue.
At 2 o'clock, we want these people to come too. If you've ever been in Pyramid Fine Arts, maybe you've been on Saturday mornings hearing the children's stories being read. You know that there is a section called Arkansas Authors. I don't know how many of you stand, and maybe you go in there and you want to hear, what's that, Tanasi or whatever his name is. I'm promoting him because I promote Arkansas authors. I am an Arkansas author, and I promote Arkansas authors, especially Arkansas authors of color. And people, we write every genre. Every genre. Children's book, biographies, autobiographies. We write love stories, whatever. And I know there probably are some authors here. I know there's an aspiring one. You want to stand up, Laverne, and run back? Any other authors in here? Oh, man, this ain't going?
Oh, yeah.
All right. There you go.
She can look close again.
There you go. If you are an aspiring author, or if you are a published author, and your book is on that shelf, come at 2 o'clock. We're going to be meeting between, after Curtis does his thing, the Arkansas authors will be meeting. Okay. You may even want to drop in and scan the bookshelf to buy some books.
That's right.
Because we do write, and we do write very well. Very well. And we will be very prevalent in 2018.
That's right.
Right, Ms. Garbo? So we want to invite you out to see Curtis's art, and also to intermingle with Arkansas authors of color.
And don't forget, Chief Master, Richard Anderson has offered free martial arts classes in January, 6 p.m. on Monday. I have this card, you can come take a picture, you might have some more, but take advantage of these resources, these opportunities. All right, can I have everybody stand up? Everybody that's out there, y'all come on in. Come in. We got plenty of space now.
Yeah, we can
come on in. I want everybody
to
in the room.
Move to the right. People there, move to the right.
Y'all come this way. Let's fill the center aisle. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Everybody's in. All right, so just a reminder, one last time. Tomorrow we are celebrating what? What did we celebrate today?
Nia.
Perfect. So let's give one last round of applause to our speakers. All right, tomorrow 2 p.m. House of Art. So we end our Kwanzaa ceremony officially with the word Harambe, which means come together or pull together. Some people like to put their hands in the air and shake it around. Some people like to put their hands in the air and pull down. You do whatever you want to do. Nay. Okay? However, you need to be loud. I'm going back to Houston tomorrow, so you need to let them know that I'm coming back and that we celebrate Kwanzaa here in Central Arkansas. Ready? So on the count of 3, we are going to do Harambe 5 times. Okay? We're going to hold out the last one. Ready? So 1.